What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Yokai Delinquents. I am Sean, Bearded Kappa Litton,
And I'm Jerry Robotengu Smith.
and we are once again gonna chat it up for y'all's hopeful entertainment. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Which I don't think we've said at the beginning. We gotta really hammer it in so YouTube actually fucking works. Please like, comment, subscribe, and more than anything, share. Just pass the word around. We always appreciate that. But yeah, again, thank y'all for tuning in. Well, Jerry,
Yeah, and
oh,
thank you. Sorry,
no, no,
thank you so much for all the positive reviews and all the positive comments on our first two episodes. It was really nice. Never thought we'd hit 1,000 viewers on our third episode. That is pretty astounding. Thank you guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back because
uh,
that's phenomenal.
I want to thank all you people and all your bot programs that got us to 1,000 views almost instantaneously.
uh,
uh, well, all right. Well, Jerry, if it's okay with you, I think I'm gonna kick it off this time
Oh, okay.
because you sent,
Yeah, here.
yeah, you sent me a trailer
That's
and
true. I did do that thing.
a trailer I was excited for when John, as we mentioned before, one of the things that really got you and me closer and bonded, and you introduced me to the franchise really because we're talking about
Mm,
the Monster Hunter franchise.
yes.
And I played the PS2 game briefly, only hearing that it was rare. And I actually had one come through GameStop. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, let me play this game. And I fucking hated it. But,
Yeah,
cause,
yeah. It was really one of those things that like you. It's definitely always more fun the more people you had because I had it back in the day too, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I lived out in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't have internet, so I
right.
couldn't play with anybody.
Well, the controls were so different on that original one, too, attacking with the analog
I
stick.
know.
I'm like, what is this
Oh,
nonsense? I just moved, and I moved
oh
on with my
yeah.
life. But then
Yep.
I forget what, if it was like Fantasy Star or we were
Yeah.
playing some
That
was it that game?
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah, you busted out the GameCube
yeah.
and the fucking all the Wavebird controllers and shit, and we played some Fancy Star.
And you were like, if you like this, you should play this
Uh-huh.
game that's nothing like it called Monster Hunter.
It really is like when you think about it, the only aspect that's the same is it's four
Multiplayer,
player.
more, yeah, really.
Yeah,
But it worked because
yeah.
I had a 3DS. I think you actually bought your
Oh, yeah,
3DS just
yeah.
so we could play.
Specifically for that game, I
Yeah,
was like, oh, if we're doing this, I guess we're doing this.
right. And we fell deep into the Monster Hunter world, starting with four, and we well,
For Ultimate,
four old.
sir. For Ultimate.
Pardon me. But yes, four Ultimate. We tried Generations, I think, a little bit. We did, but then World came out and we got reignited, and uh,
Oh, yeah.
and we got some other ones, but we're gonna touch on here very soon. But back to the order. I just want to get y'all caught up on why this trailer hurt me so much, and it's just a teaser. It's just a teaser. It could end up being
Have you
amazing.
have you ever been personally persecuted by a movie trailer before? Because
Well,
that's Sean.
if you know anything about movie reviewers, yes, we are constantly molested by bad movies and trailers. It hurts our soul, and I do call myself an amateur movie reviewer. As there's some videos here on the channel, as well as if you follow me on Facebook, I constantly post up movie reviews. So
Mm.
Jerry sends me a trailer of the first teaser trailer for the live-action American adaptation of Monster Hunter. I say American just in case there's a Japanese one I haven't heard of, but I don't know.
Right.
But just in
Cover
case,
your
we're
bases.
being very clear. An American adaptation of a Japanese franchise. Some of y'all know where this is going. But yeah, so it opens up. We're in the desert. Monster Hunter players probably already know where this is going. uh, you're in a desert and you see Mila Jovovich, who we knew was going to be starring in it. That's all cool. We seen imagery of her wearing kind of the Monster Hunter armor, rocking some dual blades with Tony Jaa with the the great sword, which is all awesome. And then you find out Mila Jovovich is from the modern era. Is from our world with a bunch of military jeeps and machine guns. And then the Diablos leaps out the fucking desert as it should, but not to modern day fucking army people. And this is a teaser. I'm benefit of the doubt. It might work. But what the fuck? Monster Hunt, you have decade plus worth of Monster Hunter stuff that you Hollywood always has to rewrite, thinks they can write this shit better than the source material they're fucking taking. Why? I don't need Monster Hunter to be an isekai. You know what I mean? For those who don't
I
know,
mean,
isekai, that is when people from the normal world get transported into a fantasy realm. In this case, it looks like that's what happened to Mila Jovovich and her platoon, her squadron, because I'm assuming unless we just got the monsters from Monster Hunter are in the modern world, and that's even more fucked. Jerry, what do you think, brother?
yeah, no, that was like the whole thing, like everything I saw from that trailer afterwards was either, well, at least the Diablos looks good,
It does.
or
It
it's
does.
or it's like pointing out the one guy that's like aiming with his like rifle, but he's he's got the eye closed to look down the scope, and
Oh,
he's like aiming with his other eye.
Jesus. And that actually
So
happens more than you would
yeah,
imagine in full
yeah.
cinematic films. That the
I
wrong
just try
eye will
not to
be
think about it.
closed. Yeah, it sadly happens a ton. Much,
Uh,
but yeah. So highly, highly concerned now about this film. Not that, and like, it's a director of, I believe, Underworld. I'm not
oh
sure.
boy,
I don't remember exactly
yeah.
who the director is. I'm not going to look it up because fuck them right now. Uh,
Uh,
but the director didn't really give me much hope, as well as just being an American adaptation of a video game. We don't have a great
right.
history of that. But I wanted to believe because I want to be optimistic, and I can only go on the trailer. I'm not going to lie. Like, I mean, even it's definitely not happening now unless somehow it turns to 2021 and the air is fucking clean all of a sudden and the waters are crisp and the deer have returned. You know, like I'm not going to theaters for very much these days.
Right.
This would, even with that trailer in normal times, I'm not going to lie though, this would be a theater trip
Right.
right
Right.
now, especially
Yeah.
now. But even after seeing that trailer though, like damn, that's going to be a reluctant theater trip, even if they're safe, completely
Yeah.
safe once again.
I, I can give you just a tiny little tidbit of a light of hope
Oh,
for you, but then I'll dash it away soon after that.
okay.
So I'm just looking at the casting, and I'm just kind of wondering, like what are
Mm,
these people playing as? So we do have somebody cast as a handler, and we
yep.
have someone cast as a palico.
Right.
So we're gonna at least get that in it. That being said, the rest of the casting looks like it's mostly military personnel, other than Tony Jaa, who is credited as the Hunter.
Yeah, and that's why we're pretty certain that it's not taking place in our world.
Mm-hmm.
Certain. I mean, don't get it wrong. We've had
Mm-hmm.
movies where the fantasy world came to ours, you know,
Yeah.
but and maybe it's like it could be so fucked that like say Diablos is the only monster in the entire fucking movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's
that would be super
oof.
fucking lame.
Yeah,
But
hurtful.
but between those two options, I guess I would rather it be Jovovich and her squad coming into the Monster Hunter world.
hmm
Cause I don't need to see the Rathalos destroy New York. You know
Well,
what I mean?
there is good news. Ron Perlman's in the movie, and he's probably going to be playing a Rajang. So I think no, no, he's playing some character titled the Admiral.
Admiral. Well, I believe it actually was a character in the Monster Hunter games called the Admiral, so maybe that's another like the
Mm-hmm.
handler. Which the handler,
Mm-hmm.
the actress better be cute and bubbly because that's always been the fun part with the handlers. They're always like,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
luck going out there killing those creatures to death. You know what I mean? You know,
Murder them, rip their hearts out, and create weapons out of them.
and the Palico better just be a Palico. I don't need Meowth for you Pokemon guys out there,
Bro,
or
wait, hold on. I've got this great idea. Have you seen the new Cats movie?
I will I will reach through this podcast and strangle you, Jerry, all the way in Seattle. Oh,
Uh,
oh no. Well, see, I had a worse. I thought I had a worse idea. Gonna bring up something we're
uh,
gonna discuss here in a little while. That horrible talking Palico from the Monster Hunter Stories games.
oh, yay. See,
But
I didn't play those, so I didn't get to experience that guy.
yeah, but that's I mean that's really it. Cause it's just a teaser trailer. It's like 3 minutes,
Right,
if that.
right,
And
right,
that's with
right.
credits and build up and all that. It didn't show us hardly anything. But that's the point. Like a lot of people want to argue, and that's about with a lot of movies, especially. you can't judge it by the trailer. Like, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fair.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot judge the final product by the trailer, but you can make your judgments now with what they presented you. You can't be necessarily
Right.
mad about like what you want. Oh, they didn't show me this, so it's gonna be garbage. No, no, no. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking what they show me. Modern military people, Diablos. We know from the other stills that there are monster hunters from the games and all that. What they're presenting
Mm-hmm.
me is looking like trash right now. I want to be optimistic. You heard how long I defended New Mutants
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for
Did you ever watch it?
still haven't because it's not risking the
Yeah.
theater for it, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. And so far, the nefarious means that we have to sometimes go through. Right now, it's
Mm-hmm.
all low quality, so I'm not bothering. I'll rent it when it comes to legit stream,
Right.
but
Right.
hopefully
Same.
soon, as it should have in the first place. I don't know why they threw that thing out in the theaters, but trying to get last little bit of cash, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sorry.
So no, you're fine. I've got several predictions for this movie,
Yeah,
right? Um, so one of the I mean the probably the most like prominent one that I think is definitely going to happen is it's going to be like, oh, this squadron showed up on this place that's kind of like Skull Island from King Kong, and there's like these monsters here that they can't fight with their conventional weapons or something of that nature. Run into Tony Jaw's character, the hunter, and maybe he kills the Diablos in that scene or something, or
right.
maybe the Diablos is like the main monster throughout the movie. Um, so then we get this whole thing of like introducing other people to Monster Hunter by taking Mia Jovovich's character and training her to become a character or a hunter. So then we have to have like this whole montage of her learning to fight and fighting like early monsters and working her way up to get better gear or something. Maybe like best case scenario, maybe.
Yeah, I
Um,
wouldn't be mad with that.
yeah. Now, what it could turn out to be, because Hollywood, um, is like if Tony Jaw's fighting it or whatever, and something happens and his weapon breaks, and the Diablos gets away, and then they spend the whole movie trying to find him like the ultimate weapon to take out, or some legendary weapon to take out the Diablos, or something dumb like that.
Which
Um,
they turned out he just gets back like you didn't bring any sharpening stones.
they're like, seriously, bro, this happens every single time.
And then you get the training montage within the authentic the please us fans. They'll keep it game accurate. All right, we gotta train you up. Go collect these 10 flowers, and then bring me back 20 fish. All those missions you just zoom through so you can get back to the actual hunting.
Like, listen, if they don't have at least one scene of like her getting ready to go out and stuff, and they're like, wait, we have to eat first, and then they have the montage of like the
Uh,
palicos like prepping food, and then her getting like a massive amount of food that she's just like, you're expecting me to eat all this?
right.
Like, I mean, let's just call the movie like done by then.
If we don't get that, I at least draw the montage of her training with what looks like it's going to be the dual blades.
Hmm.
Training with that, doing all this stuff, and it just cuts to a quick scene of Tony Jaa playing the music while you're turning the meat over the campfire, and then she burns it, and they
Yes.
all get sad. I
Oh.
mean, I'll get that. I'll accept that level of camp with the Palicos just cheering or booing her as it go. But no, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. I'm not.
they're they're
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not excited. I can't get
Yeah.
excited based on that trailer. Much as I love the franchise, and it could
Right.
work. It could work, but right now that first teaser is showing all the warning signs for a Hollywood adaptation.
Oh yeah. And then like my third prediction for it is, monsters are really not that bad, and humanity was the monster all along.
We're gonna get somebody who's like, I'm the real villain, and
Yeah. Yeah.
here's my pet Kuko, whatever the little early baby
Yeah.
is, and he merges with it somehow. I don't know, some stupid Hollywood bullshit like that.
Yeah. We'll get the hunter from the village that's like, they're outsiders. They're not supposed to be here. They can't train as one of us type deal. and then they
Uh,
end up having to save them, and then they become friends. And okay, Hollywood,
yeah,
are we
but
done with this topic?
I think so. I think we shit on their hopes and dreams, and uh, I'll end with this one because what I always say when people ask me my opinion on upcoming stuff, I hope I'm wrong
Mhm.
because
Right,
I want it to
right,
be good. I just
yeah,
doubt it's gonna be.
yeah. Well, there is good news. 69% of Google users like the movie. So if
That
that's not something to take out of it.
doesn't mean shit to me, Jerry. But
uh,
yeah, yeah. What you got?
no, just saying. Well, prior to this week, all the Monster Hunter news that we got was good.
Yes, it was.
Yes, we got two new games announced. I believe both for 2021.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter Stories 2, which I think you played the first one, and then Monster Hunter Rise, which I'm pretty
yeah.
stoked about, and we'll probably end up getting a Switch for it, especially if they have a Monster Hunter Rise exclusive Switch.
Oh, for sure. I have a first gen Switch, and I've been tempted multiple times to upgrade, but
Mm-hmm.
for the better battery life and it's a bit lighter. And I haven't done it, but yeah, if they announce a Monster Hunter Rise Switch edition, I'll
Mm-hmm.
probably bite that bullet and get a pre-order down on it. Um,
Right.
yeah, but Rise is looking great. It looks like they're taking it's a Switch exclusive for those who don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like they're taking some of the open world concept from Monster Hunter World, putting it on the Switch, which graphically, yeah, it's not up to par with Monster Hunter World, but it is like still the high end Switch graphics, and it just looks like mobility is a big theme. It's showing you this
Mm-hmm.
running through the world, climbing through the world, like up mountains, like not just like you could climb little peaks and stuff in the old games, but this is like Breath of the Wild level of just exploration, and they added like I think one of the things I'm most excited about because you always had the palico, your cat
Mm-hmm.
companions. We got
Mm-hmm.
doggos.
Mm-hmm.
We got dog companions that you can ride, and
Yep.
that looks awesome. Because the detail on that is you can choose between two palicos, two. I'm trying to remember the name of the dogs, but you can choose two
They're called like a Palamute.
palamute. Yeah,
I think
I
it's
believe you're right.
yeah.
Two of those or one of each, so you can actually mix it up. And I
Right.
saw a great shot for the multiplayer because the other part, which oh yeah, before I talk about that, the big thing with Rise because exploration is the big deal, is that they added these. I think they call them like line bugs. Basically, they're
Mm-hmm.
these little bugs you can attach to and Spider-Man your way around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like you can swing across. And I saw a great shot of four players in action running through look like a dilapidated village. Two on the dogs and two just swinging over the buildings. It just looked that's an epic shot for the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's looking amazing. We got new monsters. I haven't released a ton of details for them yet. We got some returning as always. Haven't heard of any new weapons or anything, but there's gonna be new styles. Like I don't know if you followed up much after that reveal trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You have a new style of attack. Like there's always been the big barrel bombs that you lay out and you set them off or they run into them. I saw a shot where someone had used the line bug to swing up above the monster, pulled out a large barrel bomb, and just chucked it down at him.
Ooh.
Like it was
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Like so, it looked like you're
Yeah.
getting and unlike the in the old one, the last generation or something, they had the text or whatever where you could have a leaping attack with every weapon, or you could do the
Mm-hmm.
different versions. It looks like the line bug is going to kind of work as the leap. Like you could, but
Mm.
everybody can do it at all times, and you can just leap into the air and do different attacks for mounts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely looked like the replacement for the Slinger from Monster Hunter World
Right, right.
for sure.
At least their version
Yes.
for it. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
actually they're taking like we knew they couldn't port World over. It's just
Mm-hmm.
beautiful game. Like the Switch is pretty much a portable PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, so it can't
Mm-hmm.
quite hit. Although there are some games that are releasing on both with just some downgraded graphics for the Switch versions.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, you can tell that they're not. This wasn't aimed to be on anything but the Switch, so they saved on graphics by hopefully running it smooth as silk and maybe having a lot
Mm-hmm.
going on without any of the transitional territory or whatever you want to call it in the old maps. How you had to
Mm-hmm.
pretty much do like a slight load screen in between sections.
Right.
So now it's going to be just a big open world game on it, and I'm hyped.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh
super
yeah.
excited for it. And
Yeah.
then
It's awesome.
you said, oh yeah, Monster Hunter Stories, which I admittedly didn't stick with. I did get it on 3DS, which is, for those who don't know, it's the Monster Hunter world meets Pokemon. With you
Hmm.
collect the monsters that you normally hunt to fight for you, but it's also a very like, you know how Pokemon's almost a rock paper scissors kind of thing with the different elements.
Right.
From what I remember of stories, it really was only literally rock paper scissors, only three. So combat wasn't super deep. The story is
Hmm.
very much like Pokemon level, which is fine. I don't. I still play through Pokemon games occasionally. Like that didn't bother me, but I don't know. I lost interest in it pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
I'll look at part two if the trailer. I'll look more. I've been more obsessed with Rise than stories, but I'll look into it if it looks interesting. And I'm done with Rise, I might pick it up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Definitely.
because I still love my old turn-based RPGs. I still love my Pokemon stuff, and love Monster Hunter. But like you had said
Hmm.
earlier, how Monster Hunter, it is very true though. Monster Hunter is so much better with friends. So
Hmm.
I'm really hoping like the online will be good. I wish
Hmm.
Nintendo had a way to kind of do their chat a bit better. Like you have the phone
Oh
app.
yeah.
You have the phone app that as long as you're in
Hmm.
the same game, you can chat it up and your friends. But
Hmm.
I don't know. To me, it's just like, granted, I guess it's not much different from hooking up a headset than having your phone right by you. But I don't know. I just feel like
Right.
there should be a little bit better of a way because communication in Monster Hunter can be a big thing.
Yeah, I think we did that for the longest time. We would just all call each other or something.
Yeah, yeah, we had four-way chat. If I wasn't just coming over to y'all's house to make it easier, that's big reason I was
Right.
over at y'all's place as much as we were. We were just playing the shit out of some Monster Hunter.
Yeah. We had like almost a week of snow days and plugged like 300 hours into the game.
It's like, hey, Sean, it's supposed to like snow heavy tomorrow. You want to come over tonight? Oh no, I'll be stuck there. I'm playing Monster Hunter. I have 2 cases of Mountain Dew. Let's do this. Back when I drunk
uh,
those on the regular.
yeah, yeah.
But
Mountain Dew, Sean.
yeah, then of
I
course,
remember.
the do you remember the infamous time my data got corrupted?
Oh, geez, dude, and like you have the worst luck with that too. Like,
Oh,
didn't that
no
also
kidding.
happen to you in freaking Animal Crossing?
Yep. As all
Ugh.
it's happened with Animal Crossing. It happened with Monster. It's happened throughout my life. And typically, right when you're hitting that sweet spot of the game, where you've
Yeah,
truly accomplished a lot and felt good about yourself, then something will happen. I like with the Animal Crossing thing. At least I figured out what happened with that because
yeah.
that was actually some programming. Like I bought a SD card because I buy more digital. Unless I'm really wanting to collect a series, I've really been buying digital more than physical anymore. And so I wanted more memory, more space. And apparently, with Animal Crossing, if you save it to an SD card, that corruption chance is a lot more likely to happen.
Oh,
So I had to move around some games. I had it to the hard drive. I didn't have a problem since, but I did have to start over. I was really far in Animal Crossing.
mm-hmm,
Monster Hunter was just a product of the physical media because
mm-hmm.
you saw it happen to me before playing, and luckily
Yep.
it only happened once. You get intense, you're hitting them shoulder buttons. I got big ass monkey hands, and I hit that fucking cartridge off the top, and it just
Oh
popped out,
no.
and it popped out,
Oh,
and in the middle of it, that's what happened. I was playing it at work
oh
on my break,
dang.
in the middle of a big ass battle. I don't remember what I was fighting, but I was fighting something hard and heavy. It was tough because Monster Hunter Solo,
Yeah.
at least for me, I ain't got those cat like reflexes. And
Yeah, I don't either.
I popped that cartridge out the system, and it was like loaded back up. Said
Mm-hmm.
data corrupted, could not load data.
Yeah,
Had to wipe it.
that is the absolute worst.
Yeah, and I think by that point we were hitting was it G rank or whatever, like the extra tough monsters we gotten through
we
like the
were
main game.
we were a real far
Yep.
into the game.
But
Like,
to you and John's credit, man, y'all hopped on. We're like, all right, I, I I
yep,
made every mission. Y'all jumped in, and we just wrecked through that game to get me back to where I
yep,
was.
yep.
And it
We
was
did we
still a
did basically everything you had in like a quarter of the time.
oh for sure, and yeah, and it was still a blast. That's why, like I
Hmm.
said, we're definitely Monster Hunter fans, man. That's why circling back to that movie, I was super
Mm-hmm.
excited when they announced it, even though always cautious. And so far, that teaser is justifying my caution. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but
Just kind of pointing something out.
sure, sure.
Because like they've shown a little bit of the new monsters and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
they'll always show like what your first early level boss is going to be, and that's usually like the game's like iconic monster for that one.
yeah, yeah.
The one they have for this one is the Magnamalo,
Right.
um, and it is like it's given me very like Zenogre slash Nargacuga vibes. Like,
Which, for the
or,
record, both terrify me.
yeah,
So yeah,
they're both pretty wild.
yeah. Which those yeah, it is a very I think someone once called them like the panther style monster. You know,
Mm,
they're the fast, four legged, quick to leap,
mm,
quick to dodge,
yeah,
annoying as shit. Because like I don't know the wyvern ones, which are also four legged, but like as much as the tigrex scares the shit out of everybody. I don't know. It is something about the Nargacuga and the Rathel not Rathalos, Zenogre. That's one of my favorite of the Monster Hunter monsters because I farmed the shit out of the thing. It was tough early on. Then like anything, you fight it 50 to 100 times to get that armor set. You kind of know its tricks. Then you're like, oh wait,
gotta get that Snooker plate, bro.
got to get the plate, and
That
then you also
2% drop rate,
got to get those bits so your palicos are also wearing Zenogre armor and weapons,
right?
so you're all matching because it's
And then you
adorable
realize how cool the weapon also looks, and then you gotta farm it again.
for
Yeah,
sure. And
and it's
yeah,
funny that you mentioned Tigrex though, because that is definitely my one of my favorites.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because see, I mean, I remember the first time I played Tigrex, what in four. We'd fought some of the early wyverns, the Rathalos, Rathian, the other version. And then the Tigrex shows up and they're like, "Be careful! This one's aggressive." They don't tell you that its scream hurts you. Like it roars so viciously, you actually take damage if you take it head on. And yeah, I mean,
That
Tigrex is just monstrous. I always and when they added the I don't know what you want to call
brute.
them, the brute Tigrex. There it is. Woo!
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Real scary. That was like, I don't know, I got real into to farming those, and then they had the molten Tigrex. Yeah, forget
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then they've got great stuff like the Brachydios, which is like a really interesting monster and fight in itself.
Oh no, yeah. The Brachydios just y'all. If y'all don't know what a Brachydios is, picture a T Rex that put on some boxing gloves, that lays out napalm liquid out of it and punches you and headbutts you to make it explode. And it's a
Yeah.
blast to fight. But
Yeah.
I was actually looking up the Monster Hunter Rise collector edition, and we're actually getting the Magna Malo amiibo
Hmm.
for it, as well as Kamura, which I think is the new town or the new guild that you're in. Enamel pin,
Hmm.
like yeah, I think I'm gonna. Hopefully not sold out already. I'm gonna have to look into see if I can get me one of these because I'm sure like the amiibos, which I had like I know some of the like the Monster Hunter stories has amiibos, and they actually
Hmm.
unlock stuff. I think even in generations. So
Oh,
so
cool.
be
Yeah, I
very
didn't know that.
interested to see what all amiibos they make for Rise. Because even if you don't play the games, I like amiibos. I've got a few. I
Hmm.
had to pick up the Cloud one to go with my Final Fantasy collection, and gotten a few. I got the Diablo 3 loot gremlin amiibo. So
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, so I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be looking into that for sure.
And I like that they have like some of the pre-order bonus. They have cosmetic upgrades for your Palamute Palico,
Right.
and it's like a golden retriever for the dog. He's like a good boy.
Oh, of course, got to have the best boy. And another bonus in case anyone who hasn't jumped into Monster Hunter listening to this. Here's the big thing, especially with modern gaming. You ever get sick of not getting the entire game for full price? Paying $60, and then they're like, especially fighting games. Like you know me, I'm a Tekken guy, but
Hmm.
like the fact that they keep releasing fighters to the roster that you have to pay for, even though you pay for
Right.
like there's some DLC I get. I'll gladly pay.
Who the fuck what's gonna pay for Steve for Minecraft for Smash Bros. Seriously,
Right.
no, I know people that are genuinely as excited about that.
Oh, I'm sure they will. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and like Borderlands 3, I paid the season pass because the DLC adds so many extra missions and guns, it's worth it. But if
Mm,
you are one of those that are kind of sick of having to keep paying for add-ons and games, Monster Hunter has always released free content, and
right.
it's severe. Like I don't know, it's severely good content. Like it's like it's extra monsters, extra missions, item packs, always free, always has been, and they say it always will be. So you'll
Hmm.
have more hunts, more monsters. Now, granted, like World had a full-on expansion you had to pay for, but the free
Hmm.
content upgrades are constant throughout.
Yeah, and I mean, like Iceborne was like almost a whole nother fucking game too, though.
Exactly, which I really
Um,
like. Waiting on Rise, I'm kind of like I'm kind of wanting to get back into World a little bit, but I still got Generations on my Switch, so I'm
mm-hmm.
once I get some free time, I think I'm gonna take the plunge back into some Monster Hunter. I haven't played in a little while.
Yeah, I've been playing through a bunch of games lately, and like I just beat Ghost of Tsushima, which was a fucking amazing game, and they're getting ready to come out with DLC for it, free DLC, and one of
Oh,
the things is like it's a four-player multiplayer thing, and
really?
you're playing like four legendary characters that aren't like the main characters. So like I don't think it's based in the regular world, but what I gathered from it is like you're basically these legends that are like going through hell or whatever, and you just like go through and do missions and do a story with them, and they're like customizable and stuff too, like the main character in Ghosts, in the
Oh,
main story of Ghosts.
oh,
um
very cool. That's sadly a
yeah,
game. Like I've got friends with physical copies. They're like, we'll lend it to you anytime you're ready. I'm like, man, as soon as I got time to dive into an open world game,
right.
I definitely
Yeah.
want to dive into that one for
it
sure.
it it is, yeah, it is 100% something that you would be into. And like it's great because they even had a Kurosawa mode, so you could it changes the entire game into black and white.
Oh my
Which
god.
is interesting to a point, because there are sometimes whenever you need to see certain colors and stuff,
Right.
not super necessary, because you could just run and just pick shit up, but it's a nice little touch. I would play back through the game because they're about to come out with a game plus whenever that other DLC comes out,
Right.
and when they do, yeah, I might play back through on Kurosawa mode. Also, fun fact: the game was made in English, so all of the voice acting and everything, and all like the character when they talk, it's in English, not Japanese. But when you switch it over to Japanese, because I don't know, I really wanted to play the game through with Japanese
Yeah, of
dialogue.
course, of course.
The main character is voice acted by the guy that voice acts Zoro in One Piece.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things of like, how can you not, like play through this entire like great samurai game, not hearing Zoro's voice actor the whole time.
I mean, that's definitely a bonus.
Yeah, I think it's Kazuya Nakai is his name.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not sure, but I'm gonna take your word for that.
yeah. And so anyway, like I finished that. So like Steph was wanting to play something, so I was like, well, let me get you a game, and I'll watch you play it. And ended up getting her Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't
Oh,
know if you know much about that,
little bit,
but
little
there's a
bit.
lot of stuff with like machine animals and fighting them and taming them and stuff like that, and it's like giving me like some heavy Monster Hunter vibes, and I'm like, ugh, I want to get into it. And I don't know, just playing so many of these third perspective type games has really kind of made me want to jump on a Monster Hunter here lately.
Yeah, I gotta find my world disc because I found
Hmm.
the case and apparently I did one of those, that lazy move when you're switching out games. I
Oh
don't know what
boy.
case I put it into, and I packed up 90% of my games.
Yay.
So I either have to dig it out or just yeah jump on Generations on the Switch, which is fine. It's still that old school goodness.
I just put an IKEA TV stand together and added drawers to it, and like doors and stuff like that, and we have a nice little setup now. And when Steph went to put Horizon Zero Dawn in, she took Ghost of Tsushima out and she was about to put it in the case, and I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I mean, we're all sometimes, bro. You ain't got time. You ain't got that time. You want to play a game. You're just gonna like, you know what?
Right.
Because you tell yourself, well, when I get done playing this one, I'll put it back in the case, and then I'll put the other one back. And then you just flip it
Right.
over upside down. They're both sitting in the case somewhere. Like if I had to
Oh god,
wager
I
a
hate that.
guess, I'm guessing it's probably in my Final Fantasy VII remake case, which I know I packed up.
Right.
And I'm
Oh
looking at my
boy.
boxes and realize I didn't mark any of them,
Oh yay.
and they're all piled up on the wall here. So like, yeah, I don't think I'll be playing Monster Hunter World anytime soon. And I'm not and I'm not so lazy that I'm gonna rebuy it just 'cause I can't find the disc.
Do that. No, do
No, no, hey, maybe once we get monetized, right?
that. Right.
We'll start a
Yeah.
GoFundMe for lazy gaming. Hey, help me buy games I don't want to go dig out.
Yeah, right. That game's probably somewhere in there. Fuck it, I'll just buy a new copy.
I mean, that would take effort, and God knows I don't want to do any effort right now.
Yeah. It's understandable.
Man, but yeah, but
Yeah,
that
no.
Ghost of Tsushima. Thank you.
Tsushima. You
Words,
got it. Yeah.
words.
Yes.
Man, I mean, that game was a major hit when it came out. It still is. I still hear people talking about it.
Hmm.
And one of the few
Hmm.
times, like, the studio is an American studio, I believe, at least a Western studio that made it.
Yeah.
And I know a Japanese developer, like the head of a company, I can't remember what company I'm thinking of right now, maybe Capcom or somebody, was like,
Mm.
it's a shame that Japan didn't make that game. Like
Right.
they did it such justice and did the right
Hmm.
detail. You swore it would have been a Japanese like made game, and it
Yeah.
really wasn't.
Yeah. And I like how it's just based off of historical events and stuff like that. It's really cool, and it wasn't, and I don't know why I didn't realize it, but it's basically like the turn of the ninja. Like ninja were not a thing when around this time period,
Right.
and you're basically you know doing stuff and crafting stuff, and you're becoming the first ninja. Basically, it's really interesting how they kind of implemented that in. And I messaged John about it, and I was like, so I just came to a wild conclusion about this that I don't know why I didn't realize before I started playing it.
Well, yeah.
Like, did
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask. I'm pretty sure you did, but did you ever play the Tenchu games back in the day?
I did actually. I played the
Heavy Tenchu feels.
nice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually liked it because when I got a hold of Tenchu, everyone was raving about Metal Gear Solid. And they were
Yes.
like, "Hey, you should play Metal Gear Solid. It's got the great stealth elements and all this." And I started it, and I'm like, "This is garbage." Like, you trying to tell me they couldn't stick a gun in his belt? Got to start off with no weapons? Like, no, thank you. If I'm gonna stealth, I'm gonna poison some rice balls and stab motherfuckers in the Edo period in Tenchu. That was my stealth game for PS1 era because that was
It also isn't it kind of funny that like you could do that and just basically leave them anywhere, and somebody will walk up, be like, "Oh, oh, food, yes,
yeah, I'm like,
this is
oh,
delicious."
nothing suspicious about that. No, like I only played the first one though, but I
Mm,
played the hell out of it. I enjoyed that one a lot more than the
mm.
Metal Gear franchise, which though granted the Metal Gear franchise certainly did a lot better than Tenchu. I think Tenchu only
Yeah.
got to about three games, though some say Metal Gear should have stopped at three, but that's that's some people's
Yeah,
opinion.
you were playing the first Metal Gear, and you're like, "This game is stupid. This series will never go anywhere."
Yeah, just like that silly One Piece, that'll never last.
Yeah, seriously. It always goes back to that, no matter what.
Every stinking time. But so yeah, that's some of the games. Like yeah, we're definitely looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise. And I really haven't been playing much new stuff lately. There hasn't been a lot dropping. I did
Hmm.
download that Genshin Impact. Have you heard about that one?
Oh, yeah. A friend was actually telling Steph about it and telling her how it was kind of like Breath of the Wild. So I've looked into a little bit of it, but haven't really like I don't know done a deep dive on it or
Yeah.
anything yet.
I downloaded it, got into the intro. Yeah, it has. You know, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but it definitely has that feel. And I was talking
Hmm.
with my buddy Brian about it, just how yeah, it's basically like it was developed by a Chinese company who just wants to
Hmm.
make Japanese style products. Like they are like apparently there's a tie-in manga, there's a tie-in like
Huh.
MMO, all kind of
Wow.
and a lot of, it started off on mobile, but it is like for those who don't know, yeah, if it's a free-to-play Breath of the Wild style game with a heavy anime influence.
Hmm.
for PS4. It looks like Switch, Android, iOS, Microsoft Windows. It's on everything.
Yeah,
And now I
that's
said I
awesome.
downloaded on the PS4, which I rarely turn on anymore these days. But yeah,
Hmm.
might have to get on the Switch instead. Cause at least I wouldn't mind playing it portable. That'd be a
Right.
probably be a fun game to kind of jump in, jump out. Not that we go anywhere these days, but nice to have that option.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks really pretty.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the graphics are
Yeah.
really nice, and apparently once you get so far, it can actually turn into a multiplayer. I believe in dungeons
Oh,
and
that sounds pretty cool.
cross-platform. So
Yeah.
like, so
Wow.
yeah, so like even if I have my, you don't have a Switch, you have a PS4. We both are playing it. We can at least jump in together on a dungeon. I guess if we, I don't know how to yet because I haven't got that far,
Right.
but
That's
yeah,
interesting.
but that one's interesting on that. And of course, I've been man. How is Tetris still like the greatest game to play anytime ever?
Sean, it's just shapes.
It's just shapes, but how is it so damn successful? I'm playing Tetris 99 still. I'm trying to do the 999 challenge where you just do a
Oh
marathon. You
my
got to
god.
clear that many lines. I get to about 5 or 600 and I can't do it. I'm still playing the shit out of Tetris.
Sean in one breath. I don't have a lot of time to play games. Sean in the same breath. The 99 fucking challenge in Tetris.
Look, bro. No, 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 no. You don't understand. There's always time for a quick game of puzzles. There's always time for a puzzle game. I can't
Right.
play this Ghost of Tsushima. Words are tough because I don't play an open world game through the story. I have to do every
Right.
side quest. I have to do
Right.
all this stuff. I have to, and right now I can only play consoles out in the living room. Usually, when my wife is watching her stories, and I'm not one to compete for volume. So I'd also rather, just play with the sound off, which also I imagine would kind of hurt your experience when playing Ghost of Tsushima. But so
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. I make the excuses, but really I'm just scared to dive into another open world game right now because
Right.
I
Right.
like the last one I truly played was Red Dead Redemption One, and I
Oh yeah.
100%ed that motherfucker
Hmm.
outside of online challenges and trophies and all that. But I got the Legend of
Hmm.
the West outfit because I did everything in that game, and I still haven't played Red Dead Two, and I know that was a phenomenal game by all accounts.
Yeah, it's one that I've been thinking about going back to here lately.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, man. I mean, you've always been all about like the old West stories and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
But no, like I said, I ain't got time for big open world games, but I got time for Tetris, and I also got time for Fantasy Star Online that we talked about earlier.
Hmm.
Been playing that again on the
Yes,
GameCube, which I think
man.
which is probably going to come to an end because I'm pretty sure my laser eye is dying on it. It's starting every now and again when I turn
Oh
it on,
no.
it's not reading the disc, and I know that disc is immaculate.
Right. Right.
So that's going to make me
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure it is. And I mean, like, kind of speaking of Fantasy Star Online, I don't know. I guess it just kind of like petered out because we were waiting on Online 2 to come out over here on PlayStation, and it never did.
Well, it still hasn't. They said it will. They never
Yeah.
gave a timeline. But you know how there
Yeah.
is those limited exclusivities out there?
Hmm.
Limited exclusives,
Hmm.
I guess would be a better word. uh,
Hmm.
so right now it's on Xbox One and PC, and
Right.
they have a Steam version as well. But right now, if I'm not on the computer recording like this podcast, I'm playing World of
Hmm.
Warcraft. So really, I
Right.
want it for when I'm out in the living room with the wife. So we know I don't know. I
Hmm.
just can't be that couple where I'm locked myself away in the room all night, and she's in the living room.
Right.
I'd rather
Right.
I'd rather be out there, even if we're not. She's watching her show, I'm playing my game, but at least we're out there. So I'm really
Hmm.
waiting for the Switch or PlayStation 4 version to drop, because I also really didn't like the mouse and keyboard control on the PC version.
Oh yeah.
Now I do understand that I can, if I get the Steam version, I can hook up a PS4 controller. But
Hmm.
again, right now the PC is in the office, so I don't really want to get into that game, you know, and be locked in here all the time. Because if I get involved in that, it's going to be super deep into that.
Right. And I mean, like, so I've kind of thought about it like on and off, but then they announced new Genesis, which comes out next year.
Oh
So
yeah, I forgot all about
yeah,
that. Yeah, you
and
you told me
and
that.
Yeah, and I think it's actually going to be like Final Fantasy 14's A Realm Reborn,
Right.
where they just, kind of like rehash everything and like, make the game new again.
For
But
sure. And I hope
yeah,
it's
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
I
No,
say
no, go ahead.
hopefully it's gonna be a all console release this time.
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
want to have to wait for it. Although, granted, if it's another free to play, free to download like PSO2, I'm gonna try it at least on the PC, see if it can draw me away from World of Warcraft, which few things have.
Mm,
and
right.
and right now the World of Warcraft, we were super excited because we were getting that expansion this month. It got delayed to December, so now
Oh boy.
I'm back to the daily grinds. Sad face. I think that's really why I've been playing PSO a bit more. Just kind of like want to get into that because we'll talk about it now. Man, I'm a Final Fantasy fanboy. I own
Hmm.
every mainline game and a lot of the side stuff. Some of them in Japanese and English versions. I have 14's PC version of the original before the. I actually need the uh, update. Sorry, my computer is making noises.
You're fine.
uh, I don't have a Realm Reborn copy, which I do need to see if I can track one of them down. But well, the point I'm
Right.
getting at is I cannot stay interested in 14.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've
You
tried.
definitely need a lot to do for sure. And like playing with friends definitely helps. And I know like where you're at in the game, it's kind of like difficult to do stuff with friends.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Being way behind and just I don't like the forced dungeon runs. I
Hmm.
don't the go through the main story. You have to go in the dungeon with random people, which isn't always bad, especially in the early ones. But I'm
Hmm.
I'm weird. I love MMOs. I just don't like the massive multiplayer part.
Hmm.
And I like that. Wow, I got to the level cap 120 on my main character and never ran a dungeon, and I like
Oh
that.
wow.
I like that
Wow.
I had that
Didn't even know
choice.
that you could do that.
Yeah,
That
no,
is interesting.
yeah. Now they really streamlined WoW. Now, granted, I don't
Hmm.
have the top gear because of it. I don't have all the extra stuff, but I could play
Hmm.
the game with all this world questing and be just
Hmm.
fine. And 14 is a beautiful game. It is fun, but I don't like those. I don't like the I forget what
The
they
little
called them.
solo
The
instances.
solo instance. There you go.
Yeah.
Because unless you're a tank or a healer, and I can't imagine a healer is that much easier,
Oh yeah.
because it's a cool idea on how your character can be every class. I get the idea, I get
Hmm.
the concept. I don't think it's executed very well because, like, I think like for especially early leveling, I really wish it basically you have to either skip a bunch of early quests or go to a different area that you didn't do before, or you got a
Hmm.
dungeon run to level up another class.
Right.
So it's not really
Right.
appealing for me to do another class. So and doing DPS with some of those solo instances is just hard as shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely, especially if you're like a caster type class.
right. And it makes me sad because I'm a Final Fantasy fan. You send me I know you're into end game stuff. You sent me all those
Mm-hmm.
pictures from like, all the Final Fantasy 6 things and 4 and it just makes me fanboy drool and it makes me so happy to see it. I'm like, I'm never getting that far because I can't stay interested in this game.
Right.
I just
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot, and I catch myself taking breaks more often than not.
yeah.
Just waiting for content to release and stuff like that.
But I tell you what my favorite moment when though playing through Final Fantasy 14
Hmm.
commitment ceremony.
Oh yeah,
That was a
it
blast.
was pretty. Yeah, yeah, it's fun whenever you can do little stuff like that, and I like that they made it so completely extra in that game too.
Oh, it was extra
Yeah,
as hell, and I loved every minute
yeah,
of it. And it was just
yeah. It
great,
was a lot of fun.
just watching you and
Hmm.
Steph do your thing. All the guild just were all cheering, and some of them got like party poppers. I jumped on the altar for all my tiny ass character. But nah, it's a I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it until it stopped. It just unfortunately it stopped pretty quick for me. And
Hmm.
if I wasn't playing WoW, if I hadn't got so back deep into WoW, I probably would have stuck with it. It's just really more like I don't want to pay for two games and one of which I'm hardly
Yeah,
playing. That's really the issue.
that's completely understanding.
But I still encourage people to play it though, because like I said, if you think WoW's a little too basic, a little too simple, which it honestly is what I do kind of like about it,
Hmm.
but I get that if it's not your thing, I tell people all the time to go play 14 because I mean it's
Hmm.
fun, it's simple enough to get into, but it gets complicated enough later down for some of the boss fights,
Hmm.
and it's good. It's just I guess not for me.
Yeah.
Which, like I said,
Yeah.
as a Final Fantasy for life fanboy, it makes me sad.
Yeah. Oh, well, as it goes, not every game is for every person. So
Oh, for
you
sure,
can you can have things that you like to play and things that you don't necessarily like to play.
absolutely. That's the fun of
Yeah,
it.
because there are people out there that love Monster Hunter stories.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it got a sequel. Granted, it took quite a few years, but yeah, they did make another one. So obviously, it did
Yeah.
well enough at some point. But yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I don't think it really kicked off here very big, but maybe it was big enough in Japan to justify a sequel. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they're making them. I mean, like, again, there's a good chance I'll try it. At least see it. Hopefully, they'll release a demo, and I'll see if they improve the combat maybe any to make it a little more in
Yeah.
depth. Because just having
Please check it out.
yeah, because it was just like Pokemon's got like 20 freaking elements now or whatever.
Right.
There was literally like fast, strong, and technical, and that's it.
Hmm.
It was literally rock
Yeah.
paper scissors, and that doesn't keep you interested in it for long, for me at least.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, yeah. I think we've done the talk about video games today. we,
yeah, it
we
started
I mean
off on
we could
movies, which I really thought I was
yeah
going to go on a deeper tangent with movies, but we'll save that for
yeah.
another
I
adventure.
know you guys get to hear about that later on.
Oh, we're definitely going to do that. But yeah, I think we'll go
Yeah.
ahead and wrap it up now. Thank y'all once again for tuning in and listen to me and Jerry just ramble about whatever the hell we're rambling about this day. If
Right.
you enjoyed this podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share it everywhere, throw it at people. Cuss at them if they don't look at it. Uh, Also, like in one of the previous episodes, we did an unpopular opinion. Me and Jerry discussed it, and like, yeah, like if you want more of that, feel free to leave a comment here or hit us up on any of the social medias that we have out there to give us an opinion you want us to either we can debate, we can just talk about. Yeah, this
Mhm.
we got plenty to chat about. Me and Jerry can talk all damn day,
Yeah,
but as you've
seriously.
seen. But
Hmm.
yeah,
And if you have an opinion about anything that we have an opinion about, then hit us up on that too.
yeah, we'll fight. We're down.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll take it out back. Yeah, we're definitely down for discussional. And yeah, look forward to us more episodes and maybe a guest star here and there every now and again.
Yeah,
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 stay tuned. But yeah, for now, we'll catch y'all later.
yeah. Peace.